Hello students, I am Vani Malhotra, SST Mistress from Government Middle School, Salamatpur, District SAS Nagar, Mohali. Today we will be doing part 2 of lesson 2, Wishes Come True. Children, do you know who wrote this story? This story was written by Rabindranath Tagore. Students, before I move further to explain you the story, let's have a quick recap of what we studied in part 1. This story is of a father and a son. Father name was Subal, means strong, but he was weak. Son name was Sushil, means well behaved, but he was not well behaved. Sushil used to trouble all his neighbors and family members with his pranks. One Saturday, he was not willing to go to school because he wanted to enjoy fireworks show in the evening, and he did not want to take geography test also. He said to his father that he had a tummy ache. His father forced him to swallow bitter medicine. His father locked him in the room. Both were thinking if they could have their roles reversed. The Lady of Wishes passed by their house and granted them their wishes. Reading text 1. Old Subal Chandra did not sleep well at night. He fell asleep only towards the morning. But today a strange thing happened. He leapt out of the bed at the crack of the dawn. He discovered that he had become very small. He had got back all his teeth and lost his beard and moustache. His clothes were now much too big for him. Meanwhile, our Sushil Chandra just could not get up today. When at last he was woken up by his father's shouts, he found that he had grown so much overnight that his clothes had burst their seams. His face was covered with grey stubble, and he had also become bald. He did not feel like getting up at all. He yawned again and again. The noise by his father finally made him get up. Their wishes had come true, but it only made trouble for them. Sushil had always imagined that if he grew up and be free like his father, he would climb trees, dive into the pool, eat green mangoes, plunder birds' nests, and roam around all day long. He would come home and eat whatever he liked, whenever he liked, with no one to scold him. But, strange to say, that morning he did not want to climb a tree. He did not want to swim either. He thought he would catch cold and have fever. He rolled out a mat and sat there thinking quietly to himself. Students, let's learn some new words from the above text. Leapt, jumped or sprang a long way. Dawn, the first appearance of light in the sky before sunrise. Plunder, steal goods from a place or person. Yawned, involuntarily open one's mouth wide. Students, let's see what happened to the life of both the father and the son after the wishes were granted to them by the Lady of Wishes. Subal was not able to sleep that night, and when he woke up, he found himself unfitted in his clothes. His body had changed into a small boy. He got back all his teeth and hair. On the other hand, Sushil was unable to fit in his clothes because he had grown into an adult. Yes, he lost all his teeth and hair. Both the father and the son were very happy that their wishes come true. But actually, Sushil did not want to climb tree and play with his friends as he always wished for. Both of them were not able to do whatever they had wished in the past. Students, now we move ahead in the story. Let's read the text. Once he thought he should not give up all games so suddenly. He should at least try. So he got up and tried to climb an amra tree nearby. As soon as he tried to pull himself up by a thin branch, it broke under his weight and he fell to the ground. Passers-by laughed loudly to see the old man playing childish pranks. With lowered head, he came back to his mat on the porch, called the servant and said, "Boy, bring me a rupee's worth of toffees from the market." Sushil had always been fond of toffees. Every day at the shop near the school, he saw sweets of many colors and bought some whenever he was given a few paisa. He had always dreamt of stuffing his pockets with them when he had lots of money. Today his servant brought him a whole rupee's worth. He took a piece and started eating it. But the old man did not care for children's sweet. "Let me give them to my child father," he thought, but at once decided, "No, it'll make the boy sick." Let's learn new words and their meanings. Porch, a covered shelter projecting in front of the entrance of a building. Childish, childlike behavior. Dreamt, indulged in daydreams or fantasies about something greatly desired. Prank, play a trick or practical joke on someone. Stuffing, fill tightly with something. Students, as you can easily make out from the story that Sushil felt depressed that he was not able to play, swim, and climb trees as he always wished for. So he thought he should not give up all games and tried to climb the nearby tree. He was not able to climb the tree and fell down, and the passers-by started laughing at him. He called his servant to bring toffees as he always wanted to eat them. When he got toffees, he was not able to eat them all and thought to give it to his child father. He decided not to give toffees to him as it will make him sick. Now we move ahead in the story. All the little boys who had played kabaddi with Sushil till yesterday came as usual, saw the old man and ran away. Sushil had always thought he would play kabaddi with his friends all day long if he were as free as his father. But now the sight of them only irritated him. I am sitting in peace, he thought, and here come these boys to bother me. Subal Chandra had the habit of sitting in the porch on his mat each day and think, when I was young, I wasted my time in mischief. If I get my childhood back, I would shut myself in my room and study quietly all day. But after getting his childhood, he did not like going to school. Sushil would ask him in the morning, Baba, won't you go to school? Subal would scratch his head, lower his eyes, and say, I've got tummy ache. I can't go to school. Sushil would grow angry at this. Oh, can't you? I also had lots of tummy ache in my days when it was my time to go to school. I know your tricks. Sushil began sending his little father to school by force. On returning home, Subal wanted to run about and play, but at that time old Subal wanted to put on his glasses and read aloud from the Ramayana in a sing-song voice. Subal's noisy games disturbed him, so he would make Subal sit down with his slate and do sums. They were such long sums that his father took a whole hour to do a single one. In the evenings, a group of old men gathered in Sushil's room to play chess. To keep Subal quiet at that time, Sushil hired a tutor who kept Subal busy till 10 at night. Old Sushil too got into all kinds of trouble. Nothing he had liked as a child agreed with him any longer. He used to take a dip in the pond. On doing it now, his joints grew stiff and swollen, and he got rheumatism that took 6 months to cure. After that, he bathed once every 2 days with warm water and did not let Subal bathe in the pond either. If he jumped out of bed as he had done as a child, all his bones would ache. No sooner did he put a pan into his mouth than he found he had no teeth to chew it with. By chance, if he took up a comb, he would be reminded that he had no hair left. Children, let's learn new words and their meanings. Irritated, annoyed, mischief, playful misbehavior, especially on the part of children. Bother, take the trouble to do something. Tutor, a private teacher, typically one who teaches a single pupil or a very small group. Stiff, rigid, not easily bent. Swollen, a part of the body become large or round in size. Students, do you like to play kabaddi with your friends? Okay, let's see what Sushil thought about that. He would play kabaddi all day with his friends if he got free like his father. Every time he tried to get up from the bed, he had a shooting pain all over his body. He was not able to go out of the house and play with his friends. Subal always wanted to go to school and study, but when Sushil asked his child father to go to school, he made an excuse that he had a tummy ache. Sushil forced his father to go to school the same way Subal used to force him to go to school. When Subal returned from school, he wanted to play with his friends, but Sushil wanted to read the Ramayana. He asked Subal to sit and solve sums. He hired a tutor who kept him busy till 10 o'clock at night. Sushil loved to take dip in the pond, but after that his joint pains increased and had to see the doctor for 6 months. When he tried to eat pan, he forgot he had no teeth. He picked up comb to comb his hair and realized that he had no hair left. Students, now we move ahead in the story. Let's read the text. Subal Chandra too sometimes forgot how young he was, imagining himself to be as old as before. He would turn up at old men's gatherings where they were playing cards or dice and begin to talk like a grown up. They would box his ears and send him away saying, "Run away and play." At last, Subal began to pray earnestly. If only I were as old as my son Sushil and free to do what I liked. And Sushil would pray, "O Lord, make me as young as my father, so that I might play again as much as I want to. I can't control my father anymore. He has become very naughty, and I'm worried about him all the time." The Lady of Wishes now came again to ask, "Well, have you had enough of your wishes?" Both father and son bowed their heads as low as her feet. Yes, mother, we have had enough. Please turn us back into what we were before. All right, she said. You will both be yourselves again tomorrow morning. Next morning, Subal was the same old man as before, and Sushil woke up as the little boy he used to be. Both imagined they had been dreaming. Subal called his son and said, Sushil, aren't you going to start learning your grammar? Sushil scratched his head and said, Father, I've lost my book. Students, let's continue with the explanation of the text. Subal was really missing his friends. So he went to join the gathering of old men. But all of them scolded him and told him to go away and play with his friends. Now, what happened next is both were not able to do whatever they wished for in the past. Both the father and the son wanted to come back to their original roles. They prayed seriously to the Lady of Wishes. She appeared there and granted their wishes again. The next morning, they were back to their original roles and thought they were dreaming. Sobal asked his son to learn grammar, and he said that he had lost his book. After going through the story, students, let me test if you could answer these questions. Question number 1. What changes took place in Sushil? Students, write this answer in your notebook. Sushil was not able to fit into his clothes. He found that he had lost his teeth and hair. His body was aching because of joint pain and was not able to get out of his bed due to weakness. He was not able to play with his friends. Question number 2. What happened to Subal Chandra after his wish was granted? Students, write answer number 2. Subal Chandra found himself unfitted in his clothes. His body changed into a small child. He got back all his teeth and hair. Students, I am giving you a home assignment. Write these questions and answers in your English notebook. Question number 1. Was Subal Chandra happy with the change? Why? Question number 2. What happened when the Lady of Wishes changed them once more? Dear students, after reading the story, you came to know that Sushil was wasting his whole day playing with his friends. So, here comes a very interesting activity for you. Now that you are confined to your homes these days, kindly make this timetable and see how you are utilizing your time the whole week. I hope you all enjoyed this story by Rabindranath Tagore and learned a lesson that one should be contented with what he has in his life. Always thank God for giving you this beautiful life. Enjoy what life offers you. Thank you, students. Happy learning.